So you got a collection, huh? You got a notification from Credit Karma. You got a notification from your credit monitoring. You got a nasty gram in the mail. You want to open your mailbox. You said, "What is this? Midland? What is this? Portfolio recovery? LVNV? What the heck is this thing?" Someone called you on the phone and said, "Yes, this is ABC." Finance collection company. We've got an account, and how are you prepared to take care of this? And you don't know what to do. All right. So that's the topic for tonight's live collections. Collections. What do we do about them? What's the best approach to these things? How do we get rid of them? What's the impact it's going to have on my credit? What are the best moves I can make? So my name is Jeremy Deysach, and I am a FICO certified credit coach. Well, what is FICO certified? FICO certified means I am certified in the algorithm, the math formula, the secret recipe that makes your FICO score, your lending score. That's the score used by 95% of all lending institutions in the United States. So, yes, it's an important thing to know. It's kind of a rarity to be FICO certified. And I am a senior credit coach with a company called Credit Life Financial Wellness. We are a credit education, credit repair, and financial wellness company. We help people get themselves from the situation they're in and fix their credit, become educated in this, know how to tackle things, clean up their credit, build their credit up, and achieve their goals. So tonight we're multiple places tonight, by the way. We are in the free credit repair advice group on Facebook. We are live on TikTok. We are on Credit Life's YouTube page. We're even on LinkedIn. So this is getting multiply broadcast out to a lot of different places, which is pretty exciting to me, to be perfectly honest. So we're going to talk about collections. Now, if you have questions, I want you to go ahead and feel free to ask them. Go ahead and put them into the comment section below the video on whatever platform you're seeing this in, and in theory, my software should pick it right up and put it here for us. All right. So collection accounts, collections. I got one. What do I do? There is so much advice when it comes to collection accounts. You'll see videos on TikTok. You'll see self-proclaimed gurus. You'll see all kinds of people telling you the right thing, the best way to handle it, the thing you should do. Maybe you're talking to a banker. Maybe you're talking to a mortgage lender who just says, pay them all so you qualify. And the question becomes, well, what do I do? What's the best way to approach this? Who do I pay? And so forth. So I want to go over a couple of the questions that I get as a professional and also on a day-to-day basis in the free credit repair advice group that I run on Facebook. So the first and foremost thing, you get a notification of a collection. You may find out first because they're calling you. That's a really common situation. But if you get a brand new collection, you're going to receive a piece of mail, a letter. That letter's got a name. It's called a dunning letter. It's essentially a warning letter saying, hi, we are ABC or we are XYZ collection company, right? And we have got this collection we're collecting on behalf of Capital One, or we're collecting on behalf of Credit One. Maybe we are collecting on behalf of your doctor's office or whomever. And we need to let you know that we're going to report to your credit report, and you've got 30 days to question the validity and ask for validation of this, or we're going to assume it's a good debt, and we're going to go ahead and put it on your credit report. That's called a dunning letter. It's an advanced warning that you are supposed to receive well in advance of that being put on your credit report. Sometimes it comes, sometimes we miss it, sometimes it looks like junk mail, right? Life happens. I don't judge. So the next thing that'll happen, aside from a barrage of telephone calls from unknown numbers or scam likely, maybe even blocked phone numbers, you're going to get a barrage of telephone calls from the collection agency. And they're calling, they're trying to get money from you. And they may be trying to be scary. They may be not so nice. Well, their job is to collect money that you haven't paid in the past. So they're going to be starting off from the angle that you don't pay your bills. That's literally what they think of you. Maybe that is who you are. Maybe it's not who you are. Maybe you had a hardship, a situation. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. Again, it's not my place to judge. It's my place to tell you how this works. So they come at you, they're calling you, you're ignoring those phone calls, right? So the letter, maybe we saw it, maybe we didn't know what to do. The phone calls, we're trying to ignore them because they're calling multiple times a day. The next thing that happens is the collection will get reported to your credit report. Now, some collection companies report to Equifax, some report to Experian, some report to TransUnion, and some report to two, and some report to all three bureaus. Well, how can they do that? I never signed anything. I never had a debt with that company. I never entered into an agreement with that company. Well, I promise you one thing. When you took out that credit card, when you signed yourself in at the doctor's office, when you signed on the line that was dotted to get the apartment or to get the car loan, you signed in there something called an ISAOA clause. That means its successors and or assignees. So if you think that the collection company does not have the right to collect because you never entered into an agreement with them, you're probably wrong. The original agreement you signed more than likely has an ISAOA clause, its successors and or assignees. A collection company is a successor, right? If they buy the debt, they're the successor in the debt. Or if they're collecting on behalf of your doctor's office, they're an assignee. They've been assigned to collect on the debt. Okay. So that's going to show up on your credit report, and they are within their rights to do that. Now, a question I get frequently is if it's been charged off, maybe a credit card, we didn't pay our bill, it's been charged off by the bank. How can that stay on my credit? And then also the new collection be put on my credit? Isn't that double dipping and double jeopardy? Isn't that, that's not fair? I'm going to remind you this. Your credit report is just that. It's a report. It's a report of your history, of your ability and willingness to repay money in a timely fashion, either borrowed money like a credit card, a car loan, a student loan, or an assumed debt, meaning when you sign saying, yes, I'll pay this medical bill, you're assuming the debt of that bill. That is now money that you owe. And so the credit report is the report card. It's the track record. It's the history. So when Capital One charges off an account, that's an internal clerical thing. It doesn't mean you don't owe it. It means they've taken it off one column in their books and they've put it into another column in their books. They then assign or they sell, making a collection company the successor. Remember ISAOA, its successors and or assignees. They either assign a collection company to collect on their behalf, or they sell the debt to another collection company. You may hear, oh, they sell it on pennies on the dollar, pennies on the dollar. Initially, that's not exactly true, but they do sell it for less than the debt is worth, right? Or the amount that's shown. So that old company does have the right to stay, the original company you're with, they have a right to be on your credit because that is a report card. It's a track record of your activity with them. And then that new collection agency has the right to put that on your credit because odds are very good that you signed an ISAOA clause, it's successors and or assignees clause, when you originally took on the debt. Okay. So now this debt, this collection is on your credit report. And you may not have gotten the nasty calls, and you may not have gotten an email. You may not have gotten the dunning letter in the mail, or else you didn't see it. Maybe the first warning you get is a credit alert from Credit Karma or your credit monitoring or wherever saying, alert, there's a new item added to your report, or alert, a new collection has appeared on your report, or alert, your score has decreased. So you log in there and you go, what the heck happened? Suddenly I just got whacked by this collection. Okay, so now we've got a collection. It's on our credit report. It's impacting our ability to get credit, and it's dropping our FICO score, our credit score, which is our risk rating, the thing that tells us how how good of a risk we are to lend to. Well, it doesn't really tell us. We don't care. It tells the bank. It tells the lenders. So what do? You'll hear advice out there that says, call them and arrange a pay for delete. Call them and arrange a pay for delete. Well, if you want to pay the full amount and you want to run the risks that communicating with them entails, and you want to try to engage a company hoping it's one of the very few that actually do a pay for delete, hey, knock yourself out. But I'm going to tell you something. From a credit standpoint, while paying on a collection that's reporting negatively on your credit, it's a step in the process. It's just not necessarily the first step from a credit standpoint, okay? So, but Jeremy, couldn't I call and pay for? Just hear me out. From a credit repair and a credit development and a score standpoint, while paying on, I'm not telling you not to pay your bills because that's terrible advice, but while paying on a collection that's reported negatively on your credit report, while it's a step in the process, it's just not necessarily the first step. So what is the first step? The first step, the first thing you should always do when you get a collection is to investigate it. And you're going to investigate it two places. First place, you're going to investigate the data being reported on the credit bureaus with Equifax, with Experian, and with TransUnion. And if you follow my advice and do it exactly like I'm about to tell you, you have the best odds of a permanent deletion. Now, a lot of people say, dispute the debt. Can't I go online and just do an electronic dispute? Can't I electronically dispute it? Sure you can. But I'll have you know something. When you press submit for your electronic online dispute, the small print you're agreeing to includes giving up a number of your consumer rights. One of the most important ones being that if it gets deleted, the very next time that collection agency reports, it can be reinserted and they don't even have to notify you. So while it might be gone this month, if they report again to the bureaus next month, it'll show back up. So this is why we don't do it electronically. We don't do any of this online. So Jeremy, how do we do this? How do we, step one, investigate this? You're going to use letters, old school, snail mail, whatever you want to call them, paper letters, because you're trying to paper trail this thing, right? So we use paper. So you're going to write letters to all three bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And you're going to be saying to the bureaus, hey guys, with all due respect, this collection, prove it. Prove that's the right amount. Prove that's the date. Prove that's the account number. Prove you got the right address. Prove that's the correct date of last activity. Prove it's showing open or closed correctly. Prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it, prove it. And if the bureaus cannot, within certain confines, verify, validate, and document that everything being reported is 100% accurate and factual and current and correct and verifiable today, not when it was reported, but today, then by law, that information, that collection is permanently deleted, gone from the credit profile like it never happened. Okay, and it's a permanent fix. Now, that does not mean the debt is gone. If you owe a guy $1, you owe a guy $1. Debt and credit, two different things. Credit is our track record, and debt's the actual stuff we owe, right? But what you've effectively done through that successful investigation process is basically force them to not be able to use the big piece of leverage, the collection companies, the big piece of leverage that they've been using, which is holding your credit report hostage, standing in the way of you being able to obtain what you want. And that is very powerful, getting that deleted. It's extremely powerful getting the collection deleted. Why is it powerful? Because then, when you then contact the collection company to handle the debt, remember, we cleaned the credit, but now we're going to handle the debt. When you contact that collection company to settle on the debt, you come in from a position of power. No longer do they have the power hanging over you. No longer can they hold your credit hostage. So when you talk to them, you go, hey, what would you accept on this? Looks like you say I owe you some money on this collection account. What would you take on something like this? Well, we need $900. We'll go to $900 on this 1,000 you owe. And you go, tell you what, I'll give you $451.92 today. You go, wait, why that number? You go, because that's what I have in my pocket. And they may come back and go, well, we can't accept that. That's too low. We need to talk to other people. That's too low. Always ask them this question. Go, hey, what happens if I don't pay it? Oh, we'll stay on your credit for up to 7 years, and that could stand in the way of you getting a house and a car and getting financing and good raises. Stop. Let me stop you there. You've already been deleted. You already couldn't stay on my credit correctly. I'm just literally settling this at this point as a courtesy. So you're coming at that collection once you've had it deleted through the investigation process from a position of strength. So you have something to work with in the negotiation. So step one, you investigate it with the bureaus through investigative letters to all the bureaus. It's on Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And if you want to know how to do that, we've got free letter templates in the free credit repair advice group, or you can go on disputecreator.com, disputecreator.com, and use it absolutely free with your free annual credit report or bring your own monitoring, whatever. It's disputecreator.com, totally free. So we got free letter templates in the free credit repair advice group. You go online, do it. It'll write up those letters for you with the account info you enter. But you're going to want to do one other thing. We verified with the bureau seeking deletion. But at the same time, we're going to validate with the collection company itself. So while verifying is going to the bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, saying, hey, verify this, prove it, prove it, prove it. Validation letters to the creditors, the collection companies themselves, that's a demand to see stuff. Sometimes you've heard it called a 609 letter, possibly using Section 609 of the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Well, what you're doing is you're going, hey, show me a copy of the contract, show me the billing cycles, show me the invoices, show me the service agreement, show me. And guess what? A copy of a bill, that's not validation. Now, you may hear people out there, gurus, self-proclaimed credit gurus, bless their hearts, as they say in the South, going, you have to demand an original wet ink signature. Okay, no idiot is going to send you the actual original one copy of the contract you signed, because then they don't have it to sue you with. They're not required to send that to you. There's no law requiring them to send it. It's not in any regulations that they have to send it. And they'd be a freaking idiot to send it. And anyone who tells you that you should go after a wet ink signature is a moron and doesn't understand credit repair. But I digress. I have very strong opinions, but at least they're mine. So you're going to do a validation letter. Basically, you're trying to sweat them, and they have to provide you that validation letter, or the validation, the proof, within 30 days of receipt of your demand. Okay. So we investigate with the bureaus, we validate with the collection company, we're seeking deletion. What happens if they don't validate? Well, you send the fact they didn't validate to the bureaus, and you demand deletion of the account based on the fact they didn't validate. And again, letter templates for 609 are available through the free credit repair advice group, the original. It's the one with 66,500 members on Facebook. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of people. Believe it or not, there's a very few number of us FICO certified coaches in there answering questions for a ton of people. But damn it, we get around to it. We take care of you. We answer your questions. We do it for free. But if you want to pay me, you can do that too. I'll explain later. Energy. All right, so we investigated, we validated, right? We've sought deletion. Maybe we've investigated a couple times, a few times. We've asked different questions. We sent different letters, and the darn thing just won't go away. It's really stuck there. Well, there is pay for delete as an option. And while it's not something I would do right away out of the gate, for some accounts that are just sticky and stay there, it is something you can negotiate. Now, there are a number of collection companies. There's a bigger number who don't do it, but there are a number of collection companies who do pay for delete because they have to. They lost a massive, essentially, enforcement action against them by a bunch of state attorney generals. And as part of the settlement offer, they said, yes, we'll pay for delete. Portfolio recovery will do a pay for deletion. Midland will do a pay for deletion. LVNV will do pay for deletion. Those three. Well, why don't I just do it right away? Sounds like those letters are a lot of work. Well, pay for deletion comes with paying for deletion. They'll usually demand more money. We're trying to seek getting you out of this as cheaply as possible. But if you've done a few rounds of investigations, it's been a few months, and you still really want to get rid of it, it is worth reaching out. Now, you may have heard in a video somewhere, oh, make them put in writing that they'll delete it. They're not going to put it in writing. Make them delete it before you'll pay. Only a crackhead would delete it before. They've lost their leverage. Don't. Anyone who tells you that has no idea how the credit industry actually works, and you should run screaming from their channel or their TikTok or their newsletter or their group or wherever the heck they gave you that nonsensical advice. Negotiate it over the phone, pay over the phone. Don't overcomplicate this, guys. Oh, I've heard someone said you should never pay the collection agency, just pay the original creditor. B as in B, S as in S. Most of the original creditors, A, won't even talk to you, and B, they don't even own the debt anymore, so they can't take payment on it. Play the ball where it lies. Pay the debt where it lies. If the debt's with Midland, you settle, you negotiate, you pay Midland. If it's still at Capital One, you settle, you negotiate, you pay Capital One. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. Now, Jeremy, all of this stuff you're talking about seems like a lot of work. Why don't I just pay the collection? It's only a couple $100. Why don't I just pay it? Like literally, I have $200 in my pocket. This is a $190 collection. Why don't I just call, pay it? They'll update it to paid as agreed, paid in full. And boy, the collection agent you talk to is going to make that sound attractive. Hey, if you pay it today, we'll update it to paid in full, and that'll positively impact your credit report. No, it won't. No, it will not. Here's the deal. While paying on a collection is a step in the process, it's not necessarily the first step. Why? If you pay on an older collection that's reporting negatively on your credit report, your score will likely drop. What? Did he just say that? He sure did. I just said if you pay on an older collection that's reporting negatively on your credit report, your score will likely drop. Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, it does. Let me explain. If the date of last activity on this collection is a month ago, 3 months ago, 5 months ago, the further back in time that is, the less impact, less negative impact it's having on your credit report. If you go ahead and pay that collection company will kindly update it to paid as agreed, paid as settled as in full. And that will happen today or yesterday when you paid it. That'll give new activity to an already negative account, bringing the data last activity current and dropping your credit score. Anyone who tells you otherwise doesn't understand how credit works. And there's a lot of misinformation out there. I've been doing this. I've been in credit and banking for 28 years. I've been in the credit repair space for what, 10, 11, 12 years now. The misinformation out there could fill volumes and volumes and volumes of books that no one should ever read. I'm telling you this not with a sinister, hire me for the secrets. I literally just gave you all the secrets. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. It should make sense to you. Give me some thumbs up on my videos, subscribe, and click like, and smash the button, and whatever the hell influencers say if you like what's going on. By the way, though, if you do those things, you'll see more of my stuff in your feed on Facebook or YouTube or get notifications. That's a cool thing to do. Join the free credit repair advice group, the original, on Facebook if you haven't done it. That's a good idea. But if you're in a position where you're like, man, my credit is dog, I don't know where to start. I really can't handle it. Or I don't have time to do this stuff. I really don't. I'm busy. I have a job. Or if you're one of those people where, man, it's not the money, it's the credit. By all means, hire me. Hire Credit Life. Credit Life Financial Wellness. We're an A+ rated Better Business Bureau company. We're the best that's out there. I'm not just saying it, like we have lots of things. There's like little awards behind me and stuff online that apparently says we are the best. We're the best. So if you would like, for some bizarre reason, to talk to me directly, if you'd like to have me as your coach, and that's Jeremy Deysach. Look at that, Jeremy Deysach, FICO certified credit coach. Look at that, that's amazing. If you would like to schedule a consultation with me, there's no cost, there's no obligation to do it. I'm going to put a scroll at the bottom in theory. What do we got there? Oh, look at that. Schedule a no obligation credit consultation with Coach Jeremy. Just go to book Coach Jeremy, Jeremy, if you're just listening to this as a podcast. Bookcoachjeremy.com. You're going to access my actual calendar by doing that. And you can pick a day and even a weekend for a no obligation. There's no cost. I'm not going to charge you anything because I haven't done anything yet. A no obligation credit consultation. I will warn you, I'm going to give it to you very, very straight, very, very direct, very, very honestly and transparently. I hope that's okay. If not, we have other coaches. I might not be the one for you, but if you want it straight, I'm who you talk to. Go to bookcoachjeremy.com, pick a day, an evening, a weekend, and we're going to do a coaching call. We will, it's a consultation. We'll talk about what's on your credit. We'll talk about your goals, your why. Why are you even interested in looking at your credit? And then we'll put together a custom tailored plan, steps, action items for you to take to get you to your goals. And then if any of our services are appropriate, I'll recommend what they are, anything from our completely free services all the way up to our VIP program where the letters are done for you. You've got coaching calls. You get a credit builder custom tailored blueprint. It's pretty robust. It's pretty awesome. And if you check the free credit repair advice group, you'll see like success story after success story from people who've done it. But I'm going to set you on the right path. If it's using professional services or not, schedule that consultation. www.bookcoachjeremy.com. And, if we do have services you like, heck, I can sign you up there on the phone. If you just need some good advice to be sent on your way, great, we'll do that. Bookcoachjeremy.com, FICO certified credit coach Jeremy Deysach, this highly attractive individual you're watching with Credit Life Financial Wellness. I'm going to wrap that up. Did this make sense to you? If you're watching this in replay, rerun, whatever, go ahead and put questions in the comments. I look at all the different avenues that you'd be watching this video on, and I will answer your questions directly, okay? So go ahead and put your questions. Give me some thumbs up if you find this valuable, but most importantly, join me every Monday night. I do this every Monday night, different topics all the time. Join me Monday nights at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 o'clock Pacific time in the free credit repair advice group, the original 66,500 members strong on Facebook. Join us on the Credit Life YouTube page. Follow me on the TikTok, Coach Jeremy. Follow me on Twitter. I guess I'm on there too. LinkedIn, if you really want to be all professional about it, check me out there. But no matter what, join us, watch these videos, take part, be part of the community, and take action. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to watch this, listen to this, and put up with the goofy bald guy who's yelling about credit. And